What is up, YouTube crew? Chaz and Trista here live. We're going to be doing a little live Q&A sesh for y'all, but we're going to bring the topic of getting out of a rut / reigniting your motivation, fresh goals, fresh starts, all that fun stuff.
You keep saying all those words and all I can think of is my hair needs a new fresh start.
Literally before we went live, we were talking about her hair. Tell me more about your
I'm gonna cut
first
all my
world
hair
problems.
I'm pretty sure every girl or woman goes through this once a month. Just gonna cut all my hair off.
It's been a few months since you've done anything, though.
Yeah.
You go through phases.
But we're not talking about fresh hair.
I feel like this is the intro to a podcast. Real life
We
lessons.
are not talking about Trista's hair. We are talking about fresh newness with work and business and just streamlining and making things more efficient. All the things. All the things.
What's up, Mr. Hartle? Train Watcher Dawn up in the house. What's going on, guys? Comment below if you are here with us live. If this is your first time tuning in, we are sticking on schedule with our Tuesdays at 5 p.m., which has been nice. Trista's going to have to bolt early because little man has swim lessons.
Swimming lessons. We want to make sure that our son can swim. If
just
he
found
ever
out
needs to.
that my sister and her husband are officially homeowners for the first time. They had their inspection today. So if you're watching this, sister, because I know she hops on here sometimes, congratulations.
Yay.
I'll give you a call after. So tell us about how you guys are doing. How has your day been? Mr. and Mrs. Side Hustle. I love that. That's so funny.
That's good.
So we'll just kind of like roll with the punches here. We don't have bullet points or anything like that. I just thought this was a good topic to bring up. And I've talked several times in the past about, getting out of a rut, being motivated, all that good stuff. And sometimes it's not even about being unmotivated, because I've hit these points where it's like I'm self-driven as a person. I have motivation to get up and do work every day and all that kind of stuff, but just becoming complacent, doing the same stuff all the time and getting the same result and kind of hitting maintenance phase. I feel like that's what we did for a long time, was just kind of maintaining everything.
I mean, to be fair, we had a baby this summer.
The whole baby thing.
I had a baby.
happened.
I don't know where you were at, but
So yeah, that happened.
But yeah, we were, and I really think that was probably most of what it was from, was really just the summer. Isla was born at the beginning of summer, and then it was just like, trying to figure out how to sleep again and, be healthy and then try to work our business on the side. We kind of took summer off knowing that.
I took a lot of time off.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Just knowing that there was a new baby and just kind of chilling at home for a little while. I don't regret it. Do you?
No.
Okay.
Not one bit. Sales tanked for a couple months.
Yeah.
And that's where I realized, okay, things have got to shift again. We got to put some more focus back on the business.
Yeah.
But finding a new schedule, a new healthy balance now that we have 2 little ones instead of just one. Different schedules, different routines. We've had a lot of changes over the last 3 months. Titus started going to school in a different time frame, so we had to readjust schedule that way. And all of that boiled down to us finding kind of our new, fresh vision for where we want to go with everything. And especially recently, I talked about this last week too, we spent days straight just deep cleaning and organizing the whole office.
Yeah.
And then we had this big warehouse sale, which basically it was a record warehouse sale that we've done. It was our highest sales and our highest profit that we've done in 3 days. And that kind of opened up this whole new door on fresh focus, being more local selling, because 1, we're getting really good at it. And 2, we're building a local customer base of repeat people that keep coming in and asking when we're selling more stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun.
You still got not a lot, but you got a couple low ballers. I would watch Charles's listings on Marketplace, and occasionally I'd see that one, can you take $100 less and can you hold till Friday? That kind of thing. So I think gotta love it.
Part of the grind. So that's kind of where we're at with a lot of stuff. I think when it comes down to whether some people just straight up lose motivation and fall into an actual rut, which we've both been there several times, me more so than you.
Yeah.
I'm the one that I've always had a hard time finding just a kind of like a medium level of consistency and just hitting consistency for months on end. I'm more of like I have short bursts of pure intensity with my focus and my work, and then I need to rest and recover. So I'm still working on finding that consistency. But I'm definitely the short burst of intensity is what I tend to do. And then of course with that, I need to retreat a little bit. And I went through like 6 weeks recently, just a couple months ago, like 6 or 8 weeks where I wasn't depressed. I wasn't unmotivated. I was just kind of in a weird little mental funk.
Yeah.
I think I was burnt out on people more than anything because we do a lot of peopling between YouTube. Social media is like including YouTube, various Facebook groups, lots of phone calls, all that kind of stuff. I was kind of burnt out on people. So I took like a 6-week hiatus, which I needed mentally. So it's kind of where we're at with our business, our lives is just restructuring with a whole bunch of new goals, fresh starts in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's helped us out a lot.
I think, okay, well, first I want to say, Amy, this is totally where my brain goes sometimes. She wrote, not unmotivated, but so stressed, I freeze and do nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, that is totally me. I think that it can just all get overwhelming. I've told Charles over and over, like, if everything is done at the office, then nothing is done at our house. Like, and the other way around. So like, if our house is spotless, that means that my business is suffering for it. So I just always feel like there's something to do. So like Charles is like short bursts of energy, get it done. I just don't stop moving. Like literally.
It's true.
I don't stop
Very
moving
true.
ever.
Even
when we like had like a date night last night, we ended up just staying in and we watched a movie and we were on our laptops the whole time.
We were listing.
And
it was like a date work night.
And I made sure that, I cleaned the house during our date night. It wasn't very romantic.
Yeah, that wasn't like a personal life date night. That was more like a work party date night.
Yeah. But anyway, it's, that's just kind of how it goes, I feel like.
That's reality sometimes.
So with that, I'm not saying it gets better at all. I'm just saying like taking those little chunks and dealing with what you can deal with. I am a big fan of the big 3. I have I even have a daily calendar, journal, whatever. And I write the 3 big things that I have to get done that day. And I just make sure that those 3 things get done, because when you write down 50 things that you need to do this week, it is so overwhelming. It's like, where do I even start? What's the first bite? What's that book that you, the frog book, Eat That
Frog, Brian Tracy. It's the premise of if
a
you
good book.
Have to wake up each day and you have no choice in life, but you have to eat a row of frogs, start with the biggest, nastiest one first, because the rest are going to be cake. It's all correlated and relevant to your daily tasks.
Yeah.
We all procrastinate the big, nasty one that we know will either take the most amount of time or the most amount of energy, or we just don't want to do it. And so that whole book kind of changed my mentality as far as the big 3 in those tasks. So that was a big one too, especially if you're in a phase right now where you are unmotivated, you need something new, you need a fresh start. Literally just write down 2 or 3 things that you know you need to do each day to move your personal life or your business, whatever area you want to fix. You need to write down 2 or 3 things that need to happen each day for that forward progression to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not ever easy, but I really like the big 3 kind of philosophy and just making sure that those 3 things get done, and the bonus stuff gets done usually, but not always. And just knowing that those 3 things got done before I went to bed is always nice. So anyways, yeah.
It's up to Jason, James, Monica.
Thanks
back
for
to burnout. What's up?
Jumping on the call, you guys.
Steelhounds, Pablo. Thanks for hopping on here, guys. So that's kind of like the focus and topic of the night was just talking about, getting, whether there's different variations getting into a rut. And I'm curious to comment below, especially if you guys are live with us here right now. If you're watching the recording, you can check out the comments below too. But if you're live with us right now, I'm curious where you are at as far as, are you currently in some type of rut, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. And if you've been in one, what are some steps you took to kind of climb out of that?
Yeah.
Mine usually lasts for about 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not
like, you've got it down to a science.
I've been through enough of these little like waves of, some ruts I've had in the past are really bad, but I haven't had one of those in a while. Even my ruts now, they're not true ruts like I used to get into. It's more so I just need to retreat a little bit from social media and people. And even some of the business stuff too. There's some stuff that's just the daily grind, as much as you love it, sometimes will start to wear on you. Yeah. Physically, emotionally, all of it. And that's part of the business. And not a lot of people love to talk about is the hard, I was just going to say, part. Like, everyone always has their highlight reel on all the time. And it's really hard to feel like empowered when you're in this spot of just feeling like, oh my gosh, I have too much to do, or my business isn't going as isn't progressing as quickly as I wanted it to, or how I feel it should be progressing based on everyone else on social media. There's so much around that's, I don't want to say it's false. Everyone has their highs, but when that's all you see, it's really isolating. It can feel really alone. So there was somebody I follow on Instagram, and she posted a repost from a long time ago, but it was just like one picture had like 50 packages, and then one picture had 2. That's the reality.
And that was, it was like, I would give you credit if I knew who it was, but I just follow a bunch of people and I don't pay attention. But basically that, like, everyone's highlight reel says that they shipped 50 items and I sold 2 today, and that's really, that can be the reality of reselling. That doesn't mean that you're a bad reseller or that you can't do this. It's just, you either had a bad day or a bad week, or you're just needing to find some different avenues or different actions. That's what I'm trying to say. Actions. Look at all the people on our chat.
I know. I was just scrolling through there. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. So we got another Portland person up in here. Don't you live in Oregon? Yeah, we'll pass on that one. What's up, Pat D's up in the house? Resale Warrior said, wasn't a big rut. Business is lonely when you were building by yourself. Join your VIP group and got excited again. Yes. Quick plug, VIP group is officially open for the next, let's say Tuesday, so until Friday. So if you guys want to get on the VIP group, you need to get in on that now, because we're shutting the doors for another probably 4 or 5 months until we open that back up. So you can either check out the link in the description below. It's just sidehustlenetworkvip.com. Get plugged in. The second Friday gets here, the window to that's going to be shut.
James is so spot on. I'm going to read it word for word. James is an admin in our one of our Facebook groups. It's been here for a long time. He just wrote, well, now Charles is moving.
I know. I got to drag the window.
See it. Well, I was going to read it right there.
Oh, I guess it is right there. Okay.
He said, just keep taking the next step forward. Keep grinding no matter what. Yes, I understand. Sometimes you get sick or blips.
Actually,
come on the radar. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. Boom. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can put it on the screen. How cool is that?
But get back on the horse and keep going. That's what's important. So true.
Spot on with that, man. Shout out to Mr. Matthew Hartle, who said shout out to Real Life FBA and Side Hustle Network.
That's awesome.
Matt's one of our core members. Always a blast. Yeah. So, and especially if you guys are new, it's so easy to go through these little emotional battles with yourself, your ruts, whatever you want to call them. It's so easy to go through it and think you are the only one, especially when you're new. You don't realize this is part of the journey. So that's why we're one of the few that likes to get on here and actually talk about this stuff, because it's not the fun. It's not a what sold video right now. It's not like, hey, I made $18,000. It's like, it's not the fun stuff to talk about. And I feel like very few people actually open up and talk about it. The link isn't there. Oh, let me drop that in there.
But I also don't want people to think that we're just like such downers either.
Life is hard.
We actually had a really good week. We
had a great week.
Spent the weekend. Wait.
Okay, no. I'll finish back up.
Don't butt me yet.
I won't lose my train of thought on that.
Okay. We had a really good week. We spent the weekend with our friends. They came down and helped us out with the sale, like always. We had one of, if not the best month. Did we have a better month? I feel like we had 1 month that was
for the warehouse sale. Mm-hmm. That was the best.
We had the best sales for our warehouse sale. Yeah, we've got some things happening down the road that we're really excited about, mm-hmm. but I mean, it happens. Yeah. Just cleaned out Shopco of the store's electronics today, but I sold the vending machines to someone else, and they removed them
after you saw the BS
you went through.
Good call, my friend. Good call. Save yourself some headache on those money to be made, but holy crap, their work. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing. We actually had somebody come through the warehouse sale, and I still haven't drilled out the other lock. I've tried a couple different bits and hole saws and all that stuff. The lock that they put on there is just indestructible. So long story short, this guy comes through. And he's like, hey, are the vending machines up for sale? We wanted to use them as like a side hustle. We're going to document the process of putting vending machines out in places. And this guy asked about them, and I told him the story. I told him the lock is still locked. I have not broken into that thing yet. The other lock is out. I have the replacement I need to put in. He's like, how much would you take if I took them both off your hands? So we made a deal. So I'm waiting to hear back from him, and hopefully he's serious about it. But hopefully somebody will just show up with you all, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Not going to deal with them for now. Have we sold everything from the Shopco store? We are up.
Not everything. We already knew this was going to be long tail, that these were going to be long tail items. But we have recouped quite a bit of our money, if not broken even.
Pulling up right now. So with the Shopco deal, if you guys didn't see the video, go watch the video. Breaks everything down. Long story short, we paid $2,000 up front, cash money to a liquidator. We did not get access to any of the physical retail product because this was months after the closure happened. But we were able to go in and pull out all the electronics we wanted. So the cash register systems, a few security cameras, handheld scanners, all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Fire extinguishers. They had server racking and casings. So we pulled all that stuff out. It's old tech. Shopco ran on a dinosaur of 90s, electronics,
I would say.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So we knew this would not be super quick as far as the sales go, but we knew that over time it would be worth it. So we have recouped. We've sold all the fire extinguishers, a few power strips. We had clothing racks, some servers, scanners.
So the person who did the buyout at their Shopco, if you didn't get the fire extinguishers to sell locally, go back and get them.
Yep.
They were worth it.
So we have recouped $1,124. I'm literally keeping a Google sheet of just Shopco sales. So we've recouped $1,100 out of the 2K, and we haven't even sold the higher ticket items yet. So far on the pace that we're at with how much stuff we have left, I'm pretty confident that we're going to double our money. So we spent 2. I think we'll make 2K profit after everything is said and done. It might take 6 months or a year. That part I have no idea. But, it was a learning experience more than anything. We got to learn what it is like to actually physically go in and pull this stuff out of a Shopco or a retail store.
It was definitely
work. You guys saw the video. It was work.
I don't know that I'd do it again.
Not on not knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
We would have done things a little different. We would have definitely taken less and offered less for the stuff that we were going to take. I think that would have been a smarter move.
Yeah.
The vending machines, I would have called a professional right away to open those things up.
Yeah.
But, it was a lesson learned, and we're willing to put up the money and the time to test and retest stuff like that.
Yeah. But everything's listed now. So now it's just selling through. So Yeah. And we sell through that stuff a little bit every week. So
I had the new Epson thermal printers. Nice. Definitely do not have those on ours.
Part-time with 3 kids, 1-year-old, 6-year-old, 15-year-old, but this is the slow time at my job. So focusing on eBay and do about $2.5K a month from Goodwill bins. That's awesome.
Nice work.
Hi
from SoCal. What's up? Yeah. So if you guys have any, I think we kind of said our spiel as far as the whole getting motivated again thing. It really ultimately comes down, like, if you're stuck in a spot where you're just unmotivated and having that tough time, think of a time when you were on fire, because we all know what it feels like to have those times when you're firing on all cylinders, mental energy into your business, whatever the area you want to focus on. We've all had those times where you just feel like $1 million and everything's working. So put yourself back in that time frame and ask yourself, what was I doing right then that I'm not doing now? Sometimes it's going back and starting that again. Like, I'll shout out Reezy's gone through and done a lot of different retail arbitrage. And I love the fact that he mentioned he now rented a warehouse space, which we're all for, big fans of the warehouse. And now he's going back to what his original game was at huge scale, which is volume books. So that's an example of rekindling something that used to work really well for you that maybe you just lost sight of. And that's happened to us many times. Like, I've lost sight of, electronics. I kind of got out of used electronics, and then I realized I'm giving up so much profit because we've done really well with it. I enjoy that category. I don't mind the cleaning and the testing because the per unit profit is so much higher. I sell one electronic and I would have to sell 30 other items in some cases to make up for that. Like, we just got a hold of a coffee machine. You guys haven't seen it yet, but we were vlogging the whole warehouse sale. So it's all going to be in the vlog. We had a liquidation pallet come in. I paid $75 for this coffee machine. It was a Mealy. I don't know. I've never heard of the brand. It's a fancy coffee brand.
I don't know.
So it's this high-end coffee / espresso machine, does everything. It's an all-in-one push button thing. And we paid $75 for it. It was disaster inside of the box. It got shipped back with coffee grounds. It just like
somebody had used it.
Somebody definitely used it,
but not cleaned it for sure.
So I brought it back to the house, deep cleaned it for the night, tested every function that I possibly could, test and retest. Drank a lot of coffee that night. Felt great. And then the next day, I listed it up on eBay, and it sold within 24 hours for $875. It would have taken me 30 to 40 other flips to make that much profit. It was 630, I think it was 631 or 613. A little bit of dyslexia, so I'm swapping those around somehow. But it was over $600 net profit just on that one flip. And that made me kind of remember that game of electronics I do miss. I'm kind of wiggling some of that back into. And then as far as like setting fresh goals and fresh actions for us, retail arbitrage is something that we've always loved doing, and I kind of fell out of that as much. We've been focusing a lot on the eBay game. So it was a lot more Goodwills, thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, people bringing stuff to us to sell. And so I lost my sense of touch when it came to retail arbitrage for Amazon. So I've been focusing back on that. Sales are up, and I'm getting remotivated to keep that ball rolling because now I'm seeing the results from it. So a lot of times it's just set new goals, create new actions, create a new to-do list, do something that's fresh for yourself. And that's what's helped us out.
Not to say that those were like bad tests, we've made a lot of money with eBay, especially when you were trying different things with like collector, like collecting toys and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Action figures, collectibles, got into that.
Right.
It's test and retest. I just found in those types of categories, they work really well for other people because they might have a consistent source to get a lot of that stuff from. Yeah. I just got tired of me having to go hunt this stuff down for so many hours per week when I know that I could have spent that same amount of time doing retail arbitrage for Amazon and made 3 times as much money. So that's kind of where I'm at, is just refocusing what has worked well for us in the past and how can I be the most efficient with the hours that we're spending.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
And I'm home a ton more.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, last week I was busy as crap, but
yeah,
last week was slammed. So I was not home much, but now we're back on kind of normal schedule, and yeah, it's been nice.
And hanging out more. Yeah. It is nice.
Having like a personal life and stuff like that. I've been playing Xbox again, which has been great.
I like how Charles is like, I've been home more to play Xbox.
Not just that. I always wait until you have to give me some slack here. I wait until Titus is in bed.
Yep. That's the rule.
You're usually working, like you either go in the garage and do your work
know.
out there. So I'm very organized and balanced with it.
You are.
5 years ago, that would have been a different story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're in a good spot. I feel like there's still a few little tweaks here and there. I was telling you, I'm going to, here it comes. So weird.
It's not LaCroix this time. It's Coke Zero.
It's so tiny.
Not sponsored. That way I don't drink a ton of it. Unless I just go back and get a second can.
I just told you that I was going to find a babysitter for one night a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you and I could go to the office and do like focused work. We don't get a lot of time to do super focused work, just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the kids are there, and
usually
it's nice because we've built this so that our kids can, like, we can have a flexible schedule and our kids can come with us.
Mm.
But Isla's in a like kind of needy phase right now, and Titus is actually fine. He'll just like
those
entertain
5
himself.
months old love to be held.
But anyway, yeah, just finding those spots where I'm like, okay, I could fine tune this a little bit, and switching Titus's school so that he goes to school in the mornings was like so helpful. So there are things to tweak that will make our schedule work for us a little better.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like this one. Anna said, I got into reselling less than 6 months ago. I sell beauty products. I source from random retail places online. I love it. Just passed 24K in sales.
Wow.
Over the last 60 days.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Congrats on that.
Congrats.
That's
I really like that you can
I know, right?
highlight people's comments.
Shout out to StreamYard here. We can actually highlight stuff.
So cool.
You were just going to go steal my touchpad.
I was just going to scroll the
Trista's got this like
I do.
touchpad syndrome. She always steals it from me.
I do. I can't. It just is.
James said I gave up console gaming and do PC gaming now for a couple years now. Diablo 3, Dota 2, yeah. I got into PC gaming a little bit back in the day. I was like StarCraft and WoW, of course. Those are like my top two, but yeah, I don't know. I know PC gaming, like especially just ergonomics of gaming, PC dominates. I can do a whole hour segment now just on gaming stuff. I've been super balanced with it though, because the second we have agreements.
We do.
We have agreements. My work has to be done. Number one, my work has to be done today.
This makes me sound super bitchy, but it's not me.
It's not. So I
have never been like, you need to have blah, blah, blah.
I presented it to you as my accountability.
Right.
My work has to be done. Like my top 3 to 5 things that have to be done each day. Like one of the things is I need at least 5 new eBay listings. Our employee does 5 to 10 a day. I personally need to be listing another 5 because we're trying to scale that. And so if I sit down on the couch and she's like, did you do your eBay listings? If I say no game. Like I need to do my listings and then I can
feel like a mom to a lot of different people lately.
She has 3 children.
I do.
So it's kind of, and then kitchen is another one, having the kitchen clean. So
yeah, you help out in the kitchen.
I've been helping out in the kitchen, the household chores. I've been doing the husband things. So that's kind of like our split. And then if I catch myself being up until 2, 3 in the morning gaming, that's when it becomes too much because I can easily do that.
Mm-hmm. Just saw someone. I really only sell beauty products on eBay right now. I'm not ungated in topicals. However, I just don't joined Amazon, and I guess if I sell for a while, it will eventually ungate itself. I can't wait.
Yep.
So you can get ungated. I think you had asked how to get in. Maybe somebody else.
How do you get ungated in beauty products? So a couple different ways. And the whole ungating topic, this is going to be relevant advice for all ungatings, even as far as like Nike goes. So number one is if you want to get auto approved, you just have to have positive sales metrics over the course of about 6 months. There's no definitive answer, but a lot of people have been saying at the 6 month of selling mark, they've been seeing a lot more auto approvals kick in. So focus on the areas that you are ungated in, that you can sell, focus on growing and scaling that until the 6 month mark, and then start to apply to get auto approved in these different beauty brands and categories. And then number two is you just find a distributor. It can be a local distributor. You go to Google and type in beauty distributors and use those invoices. Just give Amazon what they want. They tell you right there exactly. They want 10 units. They need an invoice that has all the info. Send that in and work with it that way. Of course, there's going to be different tweaks for every brand category sometimes, but that's across the board general advice. I also gave it first-person shooters, got burned out on them. They don't appeal to me at all anymore. I woke up one day, pumped up. I woke up one day and was like, I'm done with FPS games. Diablo 4 is just now. It's not sure. Yeah, I was always first person. I love the first-person shooters, the Call of Duties, the Halos, all that stuff. I've been an Apex grind right now, so I'm working my ranks up on Apex. I've had so many people. I've had at least 10 people since I've been posting more about like actively playing Apex and Xbox and stuff like that. People have been saying I should start a Twitch account, and they would follow. So my 5 followers, thank you.
My 5 followers.
I'm going to start a Twitch account. I'll have 5 followers. It's going to be great.
You guys have any ideas for side hustle for a 17-year-old? I'm very limited due to my age, but I want to start working for myself ASAP. Marketplace, just local flips.
Yep. Local flips.
Be safe, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot. We're actually doing really well with local flips right now.
I've been hustling Marketplace. Yeah. Straight up hustling.
Yeah. There's no fees, so that's great. And
no returns.
Yeah.
I take returns. I just had to take a return. There was an item that was missing an important piece I just didn't even check for. So that was a complete newbie mistake on my end. So we hosting a warehouse sale once a month. We kind of act as if we are a brick and mortar storefront doing that. So I do accept returns. I've only had to do the one so far. I've never had issues. But typically especially at 17, if you don't have your own place and you're working out of your parents' house, then yeah, you don't need to offer returns on any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I would also say print on demand, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. I would really look into that as well. New Call of Duty. I do have to get that. Shout out to Sell Quick, Ship Quick.
Sell Ship Quick Ship. Somebody asked about VIP. It is a Facebook group. You have to have a Facebook profile to join. We don't do anything on Instagram. It's all in our Facebook group. We have weekly calls and accountability calls, and
we're going to be kicking up our...
What else do we...
We're going to be kicking up our giveaways in there too.
Giveaways. We're going to be... having a huge Christmas party. We have guest speakers come on a couple times a month. They're aside from all of the like stuff that we stay out of VIP.
Matthew, stay out of VIP. He wants it all to himself.
Yeah, he's being selfish.
And the other cool part too is a lot of people on Instagram see when like this morning I went out to Marshall's and I found a shoe that was just like $70 profit, quick mover, no FBA on that listing. And so a lot of times I post and I have to block out. Obviously, I'm not going to post those types of bolos out to everyone on Instagram and YouTube. So I have to block those out. But our VIP members, I post the same stuff, but they get full access to almost, unless it's a replen or very specific item, anything I buy retail arbitrage, our VIP group gets access to. So I tell you guys which stores to keep an eye out for, what types of products, all that fun stuff, especially ramping into Q4 now. Everyone's asking, like, where do I find stuff? We're in there. I'm outsourcing 2 days a week right now. Even if it's not for me, I'm still out there actively looking for a VIP group too.
Our toddler is destroying our living room. It's
As
fine.
always.
We started doing our calls here at the house because with 2 kids at the office till like 7, it just was like not working.
Yeah, you got pretty wild.
But
at least
I don't really feel like
it's
any better here. So maybe we need a babysitter for Tuesday nights too. And then there was one question about Matt. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, I can't find it now. Sorry, guys. If you have a question and we didn't answer it, just repost it again.
How can I join VIP? Go to sidehustlenetworkvip.com. The gateway on that will be open until Friday, and then I'm shutting it down. So if you guys want to get in, now's the time to do it.
Thank you so much, Patty.
Oh, Patty, that's amazing. Thank you.
$25 super chat. That's crazy.
That's awesome, Patty. Thank you so much for a super chat. Asked, I want to sell product on Amazon. How do I get wholesalers to sell to me? So there's going to be a couple different ways. One, you can do what's called reverse sourcing. So this is you are looking on Amazon first. You are finding products. And my biggest tip here is don't go for the big guys, right? Don't go for Hasbro and Mattel and all these kind of guys where you're directly trying to go to the brand. Those guys are way too big to want to mess with new and small sellers. Now, that's not to say that you can't reach out to them and say, hey, I would like to open up an account. They're probably going to come back and say, we're not accepting any more people, blah, blah, blah. Here's a list. And then you can ask them a list of distributors, and those distributors might carry profitable products. But try to go for those brands that are not super big and popular, but they're kind of middle tier. They've got decent sales on Amazon. Make sure the brand themselves are not selling the product, because then they're probably not going to want third-party sellers. And you can reverse source that way by going on Amazon first, finding good products, and then reaching out to the brands that way. And then also, if you find that, brand A has one good product, see if they have their other products on there too, because if they don't, that's an opportunity for you to be able to take those other products and list them up on Amazon and help them out that way. So that's probably one of my favorite ways to find different things like that. And ultimately, it comes down to it's the game of numbers. You've got to be willing to call and email at least 100 people to maybe get 5 or 6 yeses for those accounts. And it sucks, but that's just the nature of the game. I can tell you, if you pick up the phone, your rate of success will be a lot higher than if you are just sending emails, because there are thousands of Amazon sellers who are new that are copying and pasting all the same emails to these wholesale suppliers. They get tired of seeing it, and oftentimes they won't even email you back. If you call, that alone is going to set you apart from everyone else. So call those brands or distributors, and I would definitely ask them over the phone versus just an email. We've seen a lot more success doing it that way. Yep. And then also check out Watch Me Amazon. Larry from Larry from Watch Me Amazon. Like mix those up. Larry from Watch Me Amazon on Instagram and YouTube. Also check out Dylan Carter from Vendrive. He has a YouTube channel as well. He's the creator, one of the co-creators of Aura, the repricer. Those are 2 of the best knowledgeable people in the wholesale game. I would definitely recommend you check them out too. And then if you have any more specific questions on top of that, Patty, shoot me an email directly. I can help you out in your situation. That's Chaz and that's CHAZ at sidehustlenetwork.com. Do you have to tell the distributors that you sell on Amazon, or can you just say you sell online? Usually you want to never tell them up front you sell on Amazon, because
you don't want to lead with it.
They don't like Amazon sellers.
It's going to come out.
Yeah, eventually. So you can tell them, because typically here's the scenario. Let's say you're sending an email, because that's what most people do. If you send an email, you don't have to make it big and fancy.
You gotta go.
Oh, you gotta run.
Thanks, you guys. I have to run, but Charles is gonna stay on for a little longer.
Little man's got
Swimming lessons.
Swim lessons.
See you later.
Adios. All right. I'm going to get centered here. There we go. All right. You guys are stuck with me. Stuck with me. But you're choosing to be here. So thank you. Where was I at with that? So if you're sending an email, you are typically going to ask them, don't make it fancy. Everyone's like, what do you ask a brand when you want to open an account? You tell them, hey, I'm interested in opening an account, or use the terms like our company is interested in opening an account. What are the requirements? That's literally I do phone calls. That's what I ask them. Usually it's going to be a sales rep or customer service that answers. So you're not in like the wholesale department necessarily, depending on how big the brand is. But I will always just first thing, hey, our company is looking to open up a wholesale account. What are the requirements? And they might transfer you to the right person. They might have to request email you back. And then the follow-up is usually they will ask you where you sell. And that's where we do have a brick and mortar shop. So we can say we always lead with that. So that's a huge benefit for us having a warehouse space. So side note there, that is a huge benefit if you guys are looking into that. But two, if you are only selling online and only an Amazon seller, you don't lead with we sell on Amazon. You just say we have various platforms that we have access to distribute the product. And then if they ask what specifically, then you can let them know Amazon, eBay, Mercari, whatever the case may be for you. But that's kind of the nature of the game. Don't overcomplicate it. And if they say no, thank them anyways, move on. If you want to take it one step further, if they say we don't allow any Amazon sellers, ask them why. They had an experience in the past that caused that to be a no. So maybe they had Amazon sellers that were breaking MAP, which is their minimum advertised price that you were allowed to sell at. So a company can tell you, we'll sell you this product, but you cannot sell it lower than $5. So a lot of these Amazon sellers will sell it at $4.95 or $4 just to try to make a quick buck. Brands don't like that. And that's why a lot of them don't like Amazon sellers, because Amazon sellers kind of suck in that way sometimes. Awesome. Punches Resales just signed up for the VIP group. Welcome in. We've actually got a VIP specific call tomorrow night. Every single Wednesday night, we do a VIP call in there. So be sure to plug in at 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. And you'll see, you would have gotten an automatic email for the group link. So be sure you get plugged in there. I can get you in there tonight. Yeah, I love what Martin said here too. I'm a multi-platform e-commerce business that sells on Amazon, eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, so you don't never open up with, yeah, we're an Amazon seller. They, especially if you go to trade shows, if you tell a trade show booth, we're an Amazon seller, they're not going to exactly be your best friend. So you have to kind of be a little more broad with where you sell as much as you can until they're asking for specifics. Hugo and Tiff are heading into Savers. Go crush it, guys. All right. Does that make sense? The wholesale game, it's just a game of numbers once you wrap your head around it. It doesn't need to be anything that's complex because it's not just a numbers game. And these are sales reps typically that you're speaking to. So don't treat them like there's some golden gate. They're just a human being. The more you can bring a human aspect into that conversation, the better off you're going to be. How did Trista's Target clothing go online? What website was it that she used? So that is via trading, and I believe the code is side hustle. One word, side hustle, will save you $50 on your first order. But she's doing pretty well with it. So it was a $1.75 per unit, and we've been selling them for $5 per unit in our warehouse sales. So we're selling through it. Once it's all sold through, we'll do a second video, which is a follow-up, a results video to show what we actually made for the whole lot. But so far, so good. And if you're selling it online, you need to stick with, on a $1.75 buy cost, you need to try to sell it for at least 12 to 15 range on the minimum side. That way your fees and shipping are going to be considered in there. All right, crew. We got about 15 minutes left. So we'll hit a little bit more Q&A for you guys. And then I'm on little lady duty. So far she's good. She's playing with her elephant. But we're going to go watch a movie. It'll be great. Absolutely. It's not just about finding wholesales and getting them to say yes. You also have to be able to research on products that they have to make sure that they are profitable. Getting the account is step one. Once you have an account, then step two is, okay, we need to go through their catalog and find the potential products that are profitable. You might open 10 wholesale accounts, but only 2 or 3 of those might actually be profitable. So that's a whole different conversation there. If you are doing this on a small scale, can you make a steady profit with finding stuff on sale at garage sales? Is that a sustainable hustle while just dabbling, or do you need to go head first? You absolutely can make a profit on a small scale. There's a lot of people that I personally know. There's a lot of them in our VIP group that we see post all the time that have a full-time job, that have a family. They only source when they can, and they're making a couple $1,000s profit extra on the side per month. So it's absolutely doable if you have. I think it comes down to your region too, because you can't just go garage sale anywhere, anytime. Around here, Portland, Oregon, we're actually an hour south of Portland, but this whole area, we're now getting into rainy season. Garage sales are done. I cannot go garage sale until next spring. So my market kind of sucks for that, it's so sad because we do so well at our summer garage sales. But if you're in an area where you have access to garage sales, estate sales, your local sales that go on like that, auctions, flea markets, and you have consistent ways to source and you stay on top of a schedule with it, you can absolutely go in and crush the side hustle. Have I used bulk since the unboxing review? I haven't done a bulk unboxing video in, I don't even know how long it's been now, 3.5 years, probably. I'd say about 3.5 years since I last did that. We have not bought and sold bulk stuff as far as Amazon and eBay in a long time, just because of that. The reason primarily being, I used to sell liquidation pallet stuff on Amazon back when Amazon didn't have IP claims. There were no brand restrictions. It was kind of the wild, wild west. You can sell anything, get away with it. So that's how I started. So no, I'm a lot more tight on where I get my product from. What are the best buying in bulk resale apps? Could you be a little more specific with the question? What are the best buying in bulk resale apps? So you mean best apps for buying bulk amounts of inventory? Or are you talking about resale apps like Mercari, Letgo, OfferUp, etc.? Can you guys hear her? She's talking to her elephant. It's too funny. Awesome. My situation exactly. I'm in Oklahoma. I would say garage sale is going to be steady for probably about 8 months, a year. Yeah, if you've got access to those long-term, all-year garage sales, I would absolutely just set a schedule every single week to go out at least one day a week. Especially with garage sales, the reason I love them so much is the fact that, yes, it's more work because you have to go source the product. And a lot of times, depending on what you are getting, you have to clean, test, take photos, list the product, ship it to the customer. There's a lot of extra upfront labor, but your buy cost is so low and the profit is so high. I mean, there's nowhere else that you can buy something for 10, sell it for a couple hundred and make that chunk of change. It's great. Yeah. So if we lived in an area that had garage sales year round, I would absolutely be out there every single week crushing those. Florida is year round. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have estate sales every Friday and Saturday. I've made good connection with a couple of companies that run them. That is key in the estate sale game. So we're very good friends with Portland Pickers. If you guys aren't following them, they have a YouTube channel. Check it out. Also on Instagram. But they come down once a month and help us with the warehouse sale. They set up their stuff on the tables, and we just have a blast doing it. But they're prime examples of, they have made such great relationships with the companies that run these estate sales that when the estate sales are done for the weekend, they'll typically call him and say, hey, we've got all this stuff left over, and he gets it dirt cheap. I mean, I'm talking pennies on the dollar for some of this stuff. So yeah, that's the key with the estate sale game. Yeah, we do have the Hillsboro bins year round. That place is great. The downfall is it's an hour drive each way for us, and they just started opening earlier, which is great. They open at 7, but I have to leave the house at 6 a.m. to get there. Trista goes 1 to 2 times a week, specifically for clothing. I don't do the clothing grind. I do all the hard goods stuff. So I did really well when I was going every week. I just fell out of the routine of it. So I need to get back into the routine of going. The drive is a little bit much, but the payoff has usually been worth it. There has not been many times where I go to that specific Goodwill bins and come back empty handed. Yeah, Ron over in Pennsylvania, the exact same thing. You're going to have the garage sale season, April through September. That's about what we do here. April's on the early side too. Most of the good sales start like later in May is when we see a lot of them pop up. And that's why we think our warehouse sale is slowly, like, I think we're going to do better. Of course it's Q4, but I also think we're just going to do better in the winter months because now I don't have competition around me, whereas during the summer, I had the warehouse sale, but then I also had everyone else in town is hosting garage sales. Now that we're going into winter time, no one else around town is hosting garage sales. We're the only big sale that's going on. And the fact that we limit to once a month builds a demand throughout the 3 weeks. And then on week 4, when people know we're coming up on our sale, they usually flood in. Oh man, I used to live 5 minutes away. Yeah, if we lived 5 minutes away, I would be there at open every day without question. But the hour drive, little much, especially now that Titus is in school. I have to have him dropped off at school usually about 7:40 in the morning. So that's just 3 days a week. That's off. That's not working out for the schedule. But if I live 5 minutes away, that would be sweet. And that's the thing too. If you guys want to increase everything that you're doing, you have to learn your local market and where are the best spots to go and build routines around there. Like I know the top 5 Walmarts and the top 5 Targets in my area. So I come up when I go out and source twice a week, I usually rotate through each cycle and I have a route that I take for each one. And then I also do the same thing with if I'm doing an eBay day, because obviously retail arbitrage, that's Amazon primarily. With my eBay sourcing days, I'm talking Goodwill, thrift stores, and pretty much Goodwill, thrift stores, and then also Ross. If I'm doing an eBay day, I also know the best stores for those. So I come up with routes, and those are the ones that I cycle through. What's up, Maxine? How are the Vancouver bins? I only source books there so far. Normally find a good haul if there aren't any other book scanners out there. Yeah, the book scanners at the bins are pros, but they're little PDA scan. Man, those guys are quick. I've only been to the Vancouver bins one time. Do they have 2 bins? I don't remember, but I've been to their main bins one time, and I found a buttload of software. So I made several $100s on that trip. But that's the only time that I've made it up that far. That's the hard part where we live in McMinnville area, like outside of Salem. I'm in this small town where it's an hour drive in each way for me to get to any major areas with those types of stores. So sometimes I'll go all the way down to Corvallis, Eugene, which is like an 1.5 hour drive. And then other times I go up to Portland, Vancouver, which is an hour north. Other times I go out towards like Mr. Wade's Venture. Is in the Hillsborough area. So he's about 45 minutes out the other direction. So, which is not bad because I have options. I can choose so many different routes I can take. And it's not uncommon for me to go out, and I've done 14 to 16 hour sourcing days before because I would go starting south and then work my way all the way around and all the way north. So I've put in some hours. I'm not driving around like that anymore. With the baby now, with the family life, with just the balance I'm trying to create with the lifestyle we want. I'm good with not making as much money this Q4 if I don't have to drive around as much because I'm enjoying the time at the house that I've been taking. It's been great. Would I drop $25K for 12% yearly return guaranteed in perpetuity? If I had the spare capital? Yeah, why not? If I only had 25K, then no, I wouldn't put it into one basket at all. But if I had 25K I was able to just part ways with for a bit, then cool. I would run with that. It's always dependent on how much capital you have, because I get a similar question in reselling. People are like, I only have $1,000. Or not even that much. If you are only starting and you have $100 to your name, because I've seen these questions, if you only have $100 to start a reselling business, don't go buy a $100 item, or don't buy two $50 items. You need to spread that capital out so you're minimizing your risk. Even if it's a great flip in that $100 item, it might take a while to sell. If it takes 3 months to sell, how many times could you have flipped that money if you bought smaller items and made less ROI, but you were able to flip those a little bit quicker? It's the typical thing of, fast nickel versus slow dime approach. So the more capital you have, the more wiggle room you have to play around with those types of risks in larger investments. All right, crew. I don't know if you can hear, but Isla, the baby, she's getting to that point where she needs to be held. And we're going to go watch a movie and chill on the couch for a bit and not work. It's going to be great. But aside from that, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys need to get in contact with me, Chaz at Side Hustle Network is the way to do it. Also hit me up on Instagram, which is the Side Hustle Network. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.